Thank you, everybody, and welcome to the second regularly monthly meeting of the Mayor and Council to be held in Borough Hall Monday, September 26, 2022, starting at 6:31. Missy, could you please read the roll?
Mayor Nunziato.
Here.
Councilman Goldsack.
Here.
Councilman Leahy. Councilman Coakley.
Here.
Councilman McGowan.
Present.
Councilman Big Roberson.
Here.
Councilman Guzman.
Here.
Thank you. If you're willing and able, could you please stand for the salute to the flag? Missy, could you please read the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act?
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, notice of this meeting was transmitted to the Record and Herald News and filed with the Borough Clerk on December 13th and 30th, 2021, and is posted on the bulletin board outside of Borough Hall.
Thank you, Missy. Could we, the reviews to the changes of the agenda?
Sure, we'll be revising Resolution 192 on page 3. And on page 4, under Councilman Guzman's agenda, we'll be adding Resolution 195, award of contract for Clara's Tunnel Transit Village Project. And on page 6, under mayoral appointments, the fall soccer staff. That's all I have.
Thank you, Missy. Anything from the council?
No, Mayor.
Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Motion?
Motion.
Motion. Sorry. Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Guzman. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call now?
Councilman Goldsack?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan? Yes. Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you, Missy. Now we're going to have the hearing of citizens. Anybody wishing to speak, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address, and keep your comments to 5 minutes or less, please. Anyone from the public? Julia's bringing out the big guns tonight, huh?
I am Ellie Siegel of 32 Grand Ave. I request a new sidewalk at East Van Ness Avenue and Lincoln Avenue near Pierpont School. I am a 5th grader in the new wing that enters and exits on Lincoln Avenue. A crosswalk would make me more visible to cars for the safety of me and other students and teachers.
Thank you very much. After everybody speaks, we'll answer your question. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak?
Good evening, Adam Zora, 94 Vreeland Avenue. I think I'd like to start off by congratulating the council for putting on another great Rutherford Day event. It seemed to be bigger than last year. I noticed that even the parking lot up at Felician was busier than last year, so looks like we're all moving in the right direction. I'd also like to address the borough engineer's baseless defense of the plan to replace the $1 million annex with an employee parking lot. As I pointed out at the last meeting, the PD's move is not only going to open up twice as many spaces as would be necessary to accommodate every Borough Hall and annex employee, but it also offers a rare opportunity to expand the borough's health and social service programs. The fact is that the borough engineer lied on the record when he claimed that the annex has housed the health department and the PD for decades is unusable. He also lied about the lack of contractors that would be capable of remediating the mold that's supposed to be in the annex's basement. At the very same time that the networks are still reporting on those non-existent remediators who are returning IDA's victims to their homes, their apartments, and their businesses. He also made it clear that the governing body has ignored the problem for at least a decade. Just as a reminder, too, this is the same borough engineer that has claimed that installing $500,000 worth of one-way valves in the borough's stormwater outflow pipes would prevent the Passaic River from overflowing its banks and flooding out the west side neighborhoods. Council needs to recognize the borough engineer's lack of credibility and use part of the Link's $1.3 million windfall payment to hire remediation experts and eliminate the source of the mold problem once and for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zur. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak?
How you doing? Greg Racine, 83 Sylvan Street. So I live right by the kindergarten center. So today I woke up, I saw a great, bright yellow sign saying slow school zone. So I wanted to thank you all for doing that, right? I know it's going all around town with the crosswalks. Just want to let you know that it's appreciated and needed. That's all.
Is that official from the Board of Ed?
Sure, why not?
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah. Open the door, I'm like, great sign. I'm like, oh, geez.
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? Anybody from the council wishing to speak? Seeing none. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Matt. Councilman.
Ms. Siegel, thank you very much for your courage of stepping up as my daughter is in your class. I agree that intersection has become even more slippery since many students have to enter through there. So we're going to take a look at that and get into planning. We'll talk with Chief Russo about the traffic patterns because that is a brand new entrance. So it's brand new to all of us. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Anybody else from the council? Councilwoman?
Yes, thank you so much for coming to speak with us today. That takes so much bravery. You're in the same grade as my son, and my son would never do this. So, I really appreciate you speaking out on behalf of your classmates. You're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about your whole school community, and that means a lot. And, very smart. We listen to people that are younger than us, so we appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anybody else? I just have a couple comments on that. You're right. We have been addressing this. It's been a priority for the last couple of months. We're changing a lot of the intersections. We're putting up more signage. We're thermoplasting the streets where the crosswalks are and the areas that say school zone slow down. So I will absolutely, as this council has already made clear, we will absolutely address this. And I'm fairly confident we'll be able to take care of that for you. And yes, you're very brave for coming. We're going to move on now. We have nothing closed. Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. First, we have the approval of the regular meeting minutes of September 12th, 2022. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman McGowan. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldtech?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Next, we have resolution number 194. This is permitting open containers in certain areas on October 1st, 2022. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Coakley. Any questions or comments by the council?
Just quickly, Mayor, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is tied to the last of the dining out events. This is restricted to a particular area along Park Avenue. There will be a live band playing, and this was just to allow the event to expand a little bit, correct?
It was basically not to give the chief a big headache.
I wasn't going to offer that explanation, but thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so that is the explanation behind it. This is our last dining out event of the 2022 year, so hopefully everyone will come out and have a great time that night. It should be a great night for the borough.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else want to speak to this? Missy, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldtech?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Next up, we have the consent agenda. All items authorized to be consent by the council will be enacted by one motion. These items are routine in nature. Motion.
Motion by Council President, may I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council McGowan. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldtag?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Anything else, sir?
No, that's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move on. Finance.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to move Resolution Number 189, Smith-Sondy Asphalt Change Order Number 1 for the 2021 road program in the amount of $103,152.11. Motion.
Motion by Councilman McGowan. Any questions or comments? I'm sorry, may I have a second? My bad.
Second.
Second by Council President. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldtag?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to move Resolution Number 192, authorizing the final payout of contractually earned accrued time to Eleanor Mullen. Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman McGowan. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Roberson. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldtag?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor. And just quickly, some updates. October 14th, which is a Friday night, the KIPP Center will be hosting their annual casino night at the Fiesta. Tickets are $85, and they can be purchased by visiting the KIPP Center. And also, I wanted to, I can't even believe it's that time of year, the 29th Annual Festival of Trees and Wreaths will be November 7th through December 10th. Right now, they are looking for members of the community to donate wreaths and trees. So please, when you're down there buying your tickets for the KIPP Center Casino Night, please volunteer. It's one of the highlights in the borough. Everybody looks forward to it every year, so we ask that folks participate. And we, of course, will do the mayor and council tree yet again. And I also was contacted by several members of the community, specifically to the events that evolve around the issues of our stigma-free community, particularly with the tragic deaths of a few folks that happened around Rutherford, despite them not being Rutherford residents, but really just highlighting the fragility of our residents and the need for us to take care of each other. And I want to thank members of the Stigma-Free Committee who are taking action, and I know that they'll be working with our information officer and also someone who has volunteered their time from the Attorney General's office to ensure that we have outstanding materials that are at the ready for anyone in our community and beyond that believe that they are in crisis or need help. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. We're going to move on to police.
Thank you, Mayor. I just realized Councilman Malahy is not present, and he has nothing to report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I would just say to that our police department has been very taxed the last week, Chief. Would you agree? You guys have done a phenomenal job, so I just want to thank your department. Councilman Guzman.
Thank you very much, Mayor. First up, I'd like to move resolution number 190, resolution awarding cooperative contract to Mall Chevrolet for 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe for the Department of Public Works. Motion.
Motion by Councilman Guzman. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman McGowan. Any questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldtag?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes. Thank you. Next up, I have resolution number 191, Resolution approving Bergen County Co-op contract to statewide stripping company for thermoplastic traffic markings. Motion.
Motion by Councilman Guzman. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Roberson. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, I kind of hope that Siegel is here, because this is exactly what we're talking about, and I hope that we make sure we take care of this for her. So, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldsack?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next up, I have resolution number 195. Resolution awarding contract for Claris Tunnel Transit Village Project. Motion.
Motion by Councilman Guzman. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Coakley. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldsack?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilman Guzman?
Yes. Next up, I have just one announcement. This Saturday, October 1st, the Green Team will be hosting their 4th Repair Cafe at Lincoln Park from the hours of 12 to 4. If you have any electronics or any other items that need repair, bring them on down. They'll be happy to take a look at them. Rain day is Sunday, October 2nd. Again, weather permitting. 12 to 4. Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Coakley.
Thank you, Mayor. First up, I would like to make a motion to accept the Board of Adjustments 2021 Annual Report. Motion.
Motion by Councilman Coakley. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President. Any questions or comments by the council?
Just quickly, Mr. Mayor, this is standard procedure for the Board of Adjustments. The report is available online.
Thank you, Councilman. Roll call, please.
Oh, sorry. Councilman Goldsack?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you all. Secondly, I'd like to authorize the Borough Attorney to prepare an ordinance for the zoning change recommended by the Board of Adjustments and accepted by the Planning Board in a letter dated September 20th, 2022. Motion?
Motion by Councilman Coakley. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council President. Any questions or comments by the council?
Just quickly, Your Honor, this is basically extending the Ridge Road Historic District from East Pierpont Avenue to the Route 3 corridor and all of those lovely homes on Ridge Road. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Roll call. I know.
Councilman Goldsack?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you all. In closing this evening, I would just like to laud our Director of Communications, Kim Bogosian, and the incredible work she did towards Rutherford Day, and our Arts Council and the Battle of the Bands the children partook in out there in the public on stage. It was absolutely incredible to watch those young people go on and open up for some of our more trained musicians. We've got a bright future ahead of us here in Rutherford. Thank you.
Well stated, Councilman. Some of those kids were absolutely incredible. We're going to move on now. Councilwoman Roberson?
I have nothing to report, but I do want to congratulate the town, the council, our borough staff for the incredible job they did on Rutherford Day. It was just lovely to bring people together, and you could tell everyone needed it. Such a great attendance and of all ages. So yes, to another wonderful Rutherford Day.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Council President?
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing to report under my Recreation and Human Resources Liaison assignment. Under Shade Tree Commission, we do have two authorizations. First is an authorization for the planting of a tree and dedication plaque in the memory of Tyler Stoika at Memorial Field. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman McGowan. Any questions or comments by the council?
Just briefly, Mayor, we received this request from one of the families whose sons was involved in that tragic accident in July. The Shade Tree Commission has agreed to pick up the cost for both the tree and the plaque, and we're working with Steve Adio and the rest of the DPW to find the proper place for this tree. So we'll have more information on when the planting will happen and the ceremony surrounding that. As soon as I have it, I'll report back.
Thank you, Council President. Anybody else? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldsack?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilwoman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, we have an authorization for the planting of a tree and dedication plaque in honor of St. Mary's High School class of 1972 in Van Winkle Park. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman McGowan. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldsack?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. And under my planning board liaison assignment, we have an authorization for the council support for the planning board's consideration of extending the Ridge Road Historic District as it relates to a letter from the planning board secretary, or as outlined in a letter from the planning board secretary dated September 20th, 2022. Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman McGowan. Any questions or comments by the council?
Briefly, Mayor, the chairman of the Historic Preservation Committee came before the planning board and requested that the historic district along Ridge Road be extended. As my colleagues know and as the mayor knows, the Historic Preservation Committee does not have any enforcement powers per se. This would be more towards, in its advisory role, there are certain houses within this district that are historic in nature by their architecture, and their goal is to be able to inform these homeowners of the historic nature of their house in the hopes that if the homeowners were to do any work to the home, they would seek guidance from the Historic Preservation Committee before doing so.
Thank you, sir. Roll call?
Councilman Goldsack?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. My report, I just have a couple of appointments. I'd ask for council consent for the fall soccer seasonal staff, Alex Tran, Joe Quinn Naruki, and Max Castello. I'd ask for council consent.
Motion.
Motion by Council President. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Council McGowan. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldsack?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes.
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you. And I will also say that, yes, Kim, you did a great job. It was probably the craziest week I've dealt with. So I can only imagine what you went through, and I appreciate all your hard efforts, as does the rest of the council. Bob, thank you very much for your efforts on this one. You guys really did a great job, so thank you. That's all I have on my end, unless Missy tells me I left something out. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the hearing of citizens for agenda items and agenda items only. Anybody from the public wishing to come up and speak, please state your name. Keep it to 5 minutes or less. Seeing none, I'm going to close it to the public. Anything from the council? No. Seeing none. Ordinances on first read. Councilman Coakley.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move on first read the ordinance amending the salary for fire prevention specialists. Missy, will you please read the ordinance by title only?
An ordinance to amend and supplement an ordinance entitled, an ordinance regulating the employment, tenure, and discharge of certain officers and employees of the Borough of Rutherford under the provisions of the Civil Service Act of New Jersey, number 3615-22, adopted on June 27, 2022.
Thank you, Missy. Make a motion to move that the ordinance be passed on first reading and advertised according to law.
Motion by Councilman Coakley, may I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman McGowan. Any questions or comments by the council?
Mayor, just a quick, brief explanation. This ordinance is designed to bring our fire prevention specialist salaries in line with other professionals within the borough and within our shared services. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Anybody else from the council wishing to speak? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldtag?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, Councilwoman?
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of Councilman Malahy, this is on first reading and amending vehicle parking regulation on Chestnut Street and Ames Avenue. Missy, can you please read the ordinance by title only?
An ordinance to amend and revise Chapter 126, Vehicles and Traffic of the Borough Code of the Borough of Rutherford.
Thank you. I make a motion to move that the ordinance be passed on first reading and advertised according to law. Motion.
Motion by Councilman McGowan.
Second.
Second by Councilman Coakley. Any questions or comments by the council? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Councilman Goldtag?
Yes.
Councilman Coakley?
Yes.
Councilman McGowan?
Yes.
Councilman Big Roberson?
Yes?
Councilman Guzman?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all we have. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.